Okay, let's go take 3. Alright. This training video, we're going to work on ML. And we're going to talk about how to improve your matchmaking. And this has nothing to do with finding better teams. If you'll look at my last video, that goes into that somewhat. What this does, what this one's going to do, is going to talk about how to get better matchmaking as far as the tier level goes. Meaning, basically, do you want to be in a tier 3 fighting tier 4 and tier 5 tanks, or do you want to be in a tier 3 fighting tier 3s? And it works the same with tier 8, everywhere up the line, with the exception of tier 10, because when you're there, you're there. Okay, I don't want to get into that damn do that. Stats, research. Let's research. Let's look at the M2. The M2 is a good one because we can really we can put it on a diet and really lean it out. Now, if you look at the M2, the weight. Let's look at the weight of the guns. Okay. Uh, Characteristics. Okay, 78 pounds for the first gun. Second gun, characteristics, 82 pounds. Hey, only a few pounds difference. Now, what you're going to find out, the middle gun is usually, if it's not the lightest gun, there's going to be very little difference between the first one, and that's going to really give you the best, uh, gun power per buck or per pound. Let's look at the 75 millimeter, 138 pounds. Okay, that's a big difference between uh, do characteristics, 82. Okay. Let's look at the turrets. Characteristics. Okay, 1,350 pounds. Characteristics, 950. Anyway, that's 400 pounds right there. You can go with the first turret and the second gun and knock 400 pounds off real easily. And depending on the tanks, like, okay, the motor, 549. Okay, 550. You're going to find differences in the weights of the engines. I wouldn't go with the stock tank just because 4,800 pounds on the second shocks, 4,800 pounds on the first shock. See, so get your best shocks, your best motor. The radios hardly ever change. I would suggest running with the first turret and the second gun. Now, that depends on what you're looking for. Okay, I like to run my derp and the top gun. I don't mind fighting tier 4s and tier 5s. Okay, if you want to fight more tier 3s at that level, go to the lighter package. Now let's look at the weight on some of the equipment, and this is what will really throw people. Okay, toolbox. Let's look at the weight of the toolbox. 100 pounds, no big deal. Very few people carry a toolbox. So, coil springs. Stop that. Coil springs. What's the weight on that? 10% aiming speed. I don't see any weight on that. They're not going to give you any. Okay, that's not going to have any weight. Binocs aren't going to have any weight. Gun rammer. Okay, gun rammer. Previous stuff. Where's the weight on the gun rammer? Oh, 200 pounds. Okay. Yes, they do give a weight on it. I'm just looking in the wrong place. Yep, see, that's not going to have a weight on that one. But nearly everything in the game is going to have. Even the camouflage net, look at this, is going to be 100 pounds. Okay? So everything you add to this tank is going to add some weight to it. Proof ventilation, 150 pounds. Okay? And you're going to have to run some equipment. But when you start getting into the heavier stuff, let's go to like a tier 8. And let's see, let's look at our load here. Yeah, now here's where it's going to really research. Let's research the load. Okay. Oh, it's a premium tank. Okay, that's not the good one to look at. Let me go find my tier 8. Oh, get off of here. Let's go over here. Okay. IS-3 is a good one. That poor thing, I have trouble with him a bit. Let's look at the weight on some of the stuff on it, okay? Okay. Weight of the first gun, 2,600 pounds. Second gun, 2,500 pounds. Oh, look at this. The second gun's actually a few pounds lighter. Okay. Third gun, 2,250. Man, see the third gun. See they got. See this gun right here is going to be much lighter than some of the other guns. Okay. Weight 11,000 on the first turret. A little over. Where's the weight on it? 11.5. Not too much difference in the weight in the turret, so that doesn't really matter. Doesn't go into effect on this tank. And you're going to find that 750 on the first motor, 700 on the second motor. So this IS-3, this is going to be one of those that it just doesn't matter what you do for weight. It's not going to change much. Let's go look at the equipment on it. Let's go back. Let's find her again. Okay, let's find her again. Now let's start looking at some of the equipment on it. Your vertical stabilizer, 200 pounds. Okay, improved ventilation, 200. Okay, wet ammo rack, 496. So you're going to add 500 pounds to it. Okay, that's not a good fix if you're wanting to go weight. Gun rammer, 400 pounds. Now watch this. This is what really throws people. Okay, 1,000 pounds for a spall liner, for a heavy spall liner. That's really a lot of weight to add to that tank. So depending on what gun you go with, you can, and equipment, you can add 2,000 pounds to the weight of this tank. Okay, and that means you're not going to be fighting a lot of tier 8 battles. I don't fight very many, anyway. But I guarantee if you put 2,000 pounds on here, you're rarely going to see a tier 8 match. Let's look at the my big boy, my E100. Let's see, research. Now let's look at the let's look weight of the turret. Okay, 5,800 pounds on. Well, it's only got one turret. Oh, that's not what I want to look at. I want to look at the equipment for the GWE 100. My E100. Let's get it over here. Let's look at the vertical stabilizer. 200 pounds. Super heavy spall liner. Guess what? That's the one I was looking for. 1,500 pounds. Okay. And when you start getting into the bigger tanks, these spall liners are very heavy. They're really going to add to the weight of the tank. Let's go tech tree. Sherman. And Sherman, I'm going to pick on the Sherman. I like it, but it's one of those tanks where the weight factor just doesn't do a whole lot of good changing stuff up on the tank itself. Let's go. Vehicle details. Nope, that's not it. Let's do it this way. There we go. Okay, let's look at the turret weight. Okay, 4,800 pounds on the first turret, 5,000 pounds on the second turret, a whopping 200 pounds. Now, other than, okay, let's look at the 76 millimeter gun. Okay, a little over 1,500 pounds, the 75, 1,430, 2,600 on the derp gun. So if you stay away from the derp and one of these two, you're going to have a fairly light tank and probably get more tier 5 battles. I'm sorry. And look, the engines, the weight is similar in all of them. So you can go with a hopped up engine, 8,000 pounds on the, usually on most tanks, your shock absorption, there's not going to be much difference. There's going to be no difference in the radio. Very little difference in the engines. But the turrets and the guns are what you want to look for when you're trying to lean a tank up. And then, like I said, check your equipment out. And I mean, if you go to the trouble of like buying some lighter equipment for your tank, it's not going to work I've had people, oh, well, I tried it, it didn't work. Well, how many battles did you fight? for. No, you're going to have to fight at least 40 or 400, and you'll start noticing, hey, I'm in a tier 5, and I'm getting more tier 5 battles than I am tier 6 and tier 7. Okay, if you get all the heaviest equipment you can get, like the spall liners and stuff, and add 1,500 to 2,000 pounds onto your tank, you're going to get a lot more tier 6 and tier 7 battles. Okay, and that doesn't make it right or wrong. It just depends on, like, well, I would rather, for example, I would rather be in my Sherman with the big heavy derp gun fighting tier 6s and tier 7s than I would in the medium gun and first turret, fighting tier 5s. That's your choice, but a lot of people don't realize there's a weight factor in everything in the game. Let's look at some of the repair kits. Um, let's see this stuff. Gasoline does not have any weight on it. Yeah, see, none of this stuff's gonna have a weight on it over here, so that doesn't matter what you put on. But I don't want to go to that attachment. Okay, but anyway, like I said, always remember, the weight of your tank does have a lot to do with, what tier level you're going to wind up fighting. Okay, so remember that when you're adding equipment to your tank. And thank you for listening, and we will work on another one as quick as we can.